Hey guys, welcome to the Redmen TV. Stay here to react. Basically, Liverpool's 22-23 fixtures are now out. They're being released. It feels like that season has only just ended, and yet here we are looking ahead. The wheel keeps spinning and things keep turning, and yet off we go again with the Reds on hopefully a journey towards going one better than we did last season and getting ourselves our hands on the Premier League trophy for the second time. Yeah, fixture announcement day is always a weird one really because some things are obvious. You're going to play everybody home, you're going to play everybody away, but I'm a big believer in getting teams at the right times or the wrong times can have a massive impact on your season. If thinking about last season, if we got Chelsea very early on when they were in a very good moment, if you'd have got them a few months later at home, maybe when they weren't doing such a good job as they were early on, things might have been different for us. Just little things like that, getting teams at the right times, who's in charge of them, have they got a new manager, it all plays into the melting pot of what happens when the points totals tallied up at the end. Last season, Liverpool came up 1 point short, just a 1 point short, and this year, like I say, looking at these fixtures, hopefully we can go one better and beat Manchester City. The first thing that jumps out, obviously, the start. So let's kick off with that one then. Obviously, Saturday, Fulham away to open the Premier League season. 12:30 kickoff away at Fulham. Not ideal early kickoffs, we know that. But if you can get a newly promoted side away from home, we did that when we beat Norwich, didn't we, earlier this season? Well, the season just gone now. Liverpool go to Norwich and win very early on. Mo Salah, I'm sure, is licking his lips at the thought that it's Fulham standing in the way of him getting another opening day goal, because he's very much on course to break that record. Of course, he scores every time Liverpool open a season. He's been very much in it. And then after that, Palace at home, and a side who Liverpool, again, recently have done pretty well against. They always put up a bit of a challenge, and Patrick Vieira's got them doing well. But Trafford, going to Old Trafford for the third game of a season. I don't know how I feel about that really, because there's two ways to go about it. Are they still in new manager bounce mode under Eric Ten Hag? Are things going well? Are things not? We don't really know what their team's going to look like, what their squad's going to look like. I don't think it's ideal, to be honest with you, because again, that's a chance for Ten Hag to stamp a marker almost. Lay down a marker of here's what we are now and here's what we're going to do. But again, Liverpool at the moment are miles better than Manchester United. It'll be interesting to see what Ten Hag's got them looking like. But again, if you can go Fulham at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Man United away, Bournemouth at home, Newcastle at home as your August, four very, very, very winnable games, and actually it should be five. Liverpool are better than Man United. Going to Old Trafford's never easy, but I think that August is about as good as you're going to get, really, to be honest with you. Again, Wednesday night kickoff for Newcastle as well, of course, an 8 p.m. kickoff, an evening game at Anfield to round out August. I think Liverpool should be delighted. All you guys watching along now live on YouTube, do let me know in the live chat your thoughts on that opening August. I think it's about as good as you're going to get. You're always going to get one tough game, I think, to start off. Last season, like very early on, we had Chelsea at home. If your toughest game in August is United away, I think you'll take that. I was speaking through the Redmen lads before we went live. I was speaking to Cy Fletcher, obviously, our producer, and he was like, we've got City away again. Let's talk about the Manchester City games then, because he's basically saying, why we always get the Manchester City away from home second. So obviously we play them at home in October, just before Halloween's at the 15th. And then obviously we go early April, we go to the Etihad, which again, it already feels like it's going to be a massive game there. It tends to be very late on in the season where they try and put us away at City. I mean, it's a random fixture list, but I'm not sure. Like, they always seem to try and get that one in there. So my thinking on the City stuff, and again, do let me know, guys, if you want to agree or disagree, is that having them at home, I think, is a positive, but you've got to beat them. We need to beat Manchester City at Anfield this season. The last couple of years where it's been a tight title race, it's been because we haven't got the points off them at Anfield. Obviously, going all the way after 13, 14, we did. But since then, in like where Liverpool have been in actual title races right down to it, City have been happy to come to Anfield, and if they get a draw, they'll take that every single day, and they'll try and get us back to the Etihad later on in the season. But we know very well that'll get moved to a Super Sunday. I'm almost certain of it. So I've got a sneaky feeling that it will be on that Sunday probably. And yeah, we need to beat them at Anfield. That's my key on that. It doesn't matter when the games are, but yeah, I think we do. Harvey says there that August's as good as you're going to get unless you're Manchester City. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the start of the season has actually done Liverpool some favours. Where it gets a little bit tricky is around this City game, to be honest. So Arsenal away, City at home, West Ham at home is a potentially difficult-ish run, to be honest with you. And then before that, obviously, after that, it's Forest and Leeds, which Liverpool should be quite comfortable with. But then you go away to Tottenham as well. So there's a little bit of a tricky period there. Liverpool finished the first half of their season at home to Southampton on the 12th of November. And then, of course, with the World Cup now being a Winter World Cup, that's the last Premier League game until Boxing Day, where Liverpool go to Aston Villa. Now, I think that'll be tough. I do think that'll be tough. You know, all the players have been away. Who knows how far they'll all go in those international tournaments, and then to go straight back to Villa Park, where again it was a tough game this season, albeit in different circumstances. Where we were pushing for that title, but Aston Villa played us hard in both games this season. We saw on the final day of the season what they did to Manchester City, where they ran them pretty close for 70 odd minutes as well. So I think that's a tough one to come back from that World Cup break on, followed by Leicester at home. As it stands on New Year's Eve, Brentford away, Brighton away just after January. So January's different this year. You know, it's usually cram full of fixtures, and you're coming off the back of a busy Christmas period domestic-wise. That isn't the case, obviously, because of the World Cup. But in January, the league fixtures as it stands are Brentford, Brighton away, and then Chelsea at home. Only 3 of those, obviously, there'll be cup games in there, in and around there as well, depending on obviously how Liverpool have done in the League Cup, and obviously the FA Cup will start there as well. Yeah, Harvey again says, Boxing Day Villa will be very tough. Our Brazilians might go far in the World Cup, maybe Thiago, maybe Hendo and Trent. Yeah, we'll see how those guys go. But after that, then let's go towards the running. I mentioned there April, the start of April, where we are away to City, at home to Arsenal. That games against Leeds, our games at Leeds and at home to Forest. But then the end of April, away to West Ham, at home to Spurs. And yeah, again, if Liverpool are very much in the title race by then, which we hope they are 2 big games. We basically the reason one of the reasons Liverpool didn't win the league this season is that late on in the campaign we couldn't beat Tottenham at Anfield. Well, if we are going to win the league next year, we might have to do the same, because at the end of April, Spurs are going to come back to Anfield. Again, we don't know what Spurs are. I've been impressed by Spurs this summer, so it'll be interesting to see what they're like by that point, whether Conte's got them in a top 4 race, maybe an outside push for a top 3, even a league title, we never know. But that's a big one. And away to West Ham on a Tuesday as it stands. Again, I think that one's just before that Spurs game. I think that's a tough little period for the Reds, that hopefully by then, like I say, we are pushing for the league title, and having to go away to West Ham, then home to Spurs might be a little tricky when we get to April. We end the season in May then. About really not a bad run in. If you get Brentford at home, you have to go to Leicester. Not easy, but not like you're not going to City. You're not going to what you would think will be a league title chasing side there. Home to Villa, and then we end the season away at Southampton on the 28th of May. That is about as good a May I think you can get. It won't be easy, of course. Leicester, Villa and Southampton are all good sides. You would think by then they're the type of teams who shouldn't be in relegation trouble. I'd be surprised if maybe Southampton are staring down the barrel, I don't know. But I think they're the teams that you think might be around the mid-table. I think they're the teams you might want to be playing around that stage if of course things are going well and you are in a title race. Yeah, JD74 then in the comments says, yeah, a debut goal for Carvalho away at Fulham. Yeah, that'll be interesting, of course. Fabio Carvalho gets to go back to Fulham for his first game. There's a chance that he might be up, if he plays or gets any part in the game, up against Neco Williams, because it looks like Neco's going to end up at Fulham. Maybe he goes elsewhere. There's obviously links to Nottingham Forest as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting if Carvalho gets some minutes against Fulham. 5 subs, of course, helps that this season. That's a massive change. Players shouldn't, in a theory, be as fatigued. We don't know how the World Cup's going to impact things, because this is just unprecedented, a World Cup in the middle of the season. The fixtures are jam-packed in. earlier on in the season. You know, we in October as it stands, we've got 6 league games. There'll be Champions League games in there as well. So the period, you know, before we go to that World Cup is going to be mad. And then when you come back off later on, like again, 6 league games in April, 6 games in 29 days in April in the league. Again, cup games might be around there as well. So yeah, we're going to feel the effect of it later on. So the 5 subs is going to be absolutely massive. I just want to talk about the Everton games then, because once again, it feels like we always end up, and I might be wrong thinking this, but other than the lockdown season, or I think, again, we now end the season, we start the derby duos, rather, on the 3rd of September, away at Goodison, so we go to Goodison, and then we played them at home in February. It always feels like with the away ones tends to be first, then we end up going at home second to Everton. I don't know why that is. That just always tends to be. It worked out this season. Obviously, we went to Goodison and snotted them, and then we got a win later on in the year. Obviously, the 2-0 win with our Lord and Saviour Divock Reid. We're going to have to beat Everton without them for once without Divock this season. But yeah, in terms of the derbies, obviously people look out for them. September and February. One point that Si made to us again, and I thought it was a very, very good point. That, you know, if you're looking at like potential, I don't know what sticking points maybe, is that, you know, Liverpool go to United, Everton and Chelsea away by mid-September. So three potentially tougher games. It's weird because Everton away for a lot of teams, they don't really consider us that tough, and I don't think they do, but with us it's different because of the derby. But United, Chelsea and Everton away all by September. If you can win or get good points from those, you know, later on in the season, you'll feel a benefit to that. So yeah, it is a potential sticking point, but getting that out of the way, there's potentially a positive to it. But yeah, Chelsea away is always going to be tough. We've seen for last season just shows you how difficult Chelsea games can be, and that, you know, effectively four draws, no goals scored in either final, very tight affairs. Obviously Chelsea are evolving, Liverpool are evolving as well. They could be completely different sides, but it's worth noting, yeah, that is a good point that Si's made there. You know, effectively, if you can United, Everton and Chelsea away by September, if it goes well, it's great. If not, it could be tricky. And then Chris just made the point, just to let you know, guys know, he said late September to mid-October is City at home all in that period, West Ham at home as well in that period. So yeah, in and around autumn, Halloween time there, it could be potentially tricky. But, you know, Liverpool, there's a reason Liverpool will get 92 points again like this season. You know, Liverpool are a top side. So we don't fear anybody. I think, to be honest, I always just look at the start when I do these type of exercises. Get off to a good start, and then the season evolves, because teams change a lot, I understand that, but can you get yourself off to a bit of a flyer? Well, Fulham, Palace, United, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, Wolves, I think they're games really where Liverpool could get off to a flyer. It might not happen this way, of course, because, you know, who knows what happens in football, etc. But they, for me, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, there's 7 games that Liverpool, I think, could easily get all 3 points in. Liverpool could have 21 points from 7 games. It might not work out that way, of course, because football isn't played on paper. I understand that. But before the ball's kicked, if you say Liverpool are going to beat Fulham, Palace, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton and Wolves, I think we should all expect that. And I think, given where United are and where we've been against them recently, we shouldn't be worried too much about going to Old Trafford. Like I say, it's a different Man United. They're going to have different players with a different manager, but the same thing applies to the team that we went and snotted at their own ground, 5-0. And Liverpool aren't going to change too much from that side. Man United are going to be different management and stuff, but I don't think for 1 second we should be afraid. So I'm looking at that start, and I think that's where the key is. If Liverpool can get off to a flyer, and they're games where you can, I'm quite happy with that fixtures. Like I say, if you're watching this post live, do let us know in the comment section below what you guys think of the fixture list, any sticking points, what you're thinking of the start as well. Yeah, Mika says the same in the comments there. I love this fixture list to start, and I tend to get it. And then Perry says Jehan Nunes can get a goal against Fulham. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. If you're going to get a goal, you're going to be looking on the goal hunt, maybe against a newly promoted side isn't the worst idea to go and get it. Obviously, if you listen to this podcast, Make sure you give us a 5-star review on your app as well, wherever you're at. It really does help us out. And again, if you want to make your comments, do tweet us at the Redmen TV. Use the Facebook group if you're a Club Legend subscriber. You can use the Discord group if you want to head on over to the YouTube chat to add any comments. Do that as well. Just to let you guys know what's coming from Redmen today then with this fixture list. Paul is away. He's going for a nice well-earned break. But me, Chris and Ross are heading to the studio shortly for the Redmen Reacts. That will be streamed live on Redmen Plus. If you head on over to Redmen, we'll get over there. I won't speak to the lads, but it could be as soon as 10:30, maybe, who knows. So about 40 minutes. Again, if you're not watching this live, that should be there streaming for you right now, both in video and podcast forms. If you haven't signed up to Redmen Plus yet, I really recommend you consider doing so. We've obviously gone big on the Darwin Núñez stuff. It's always boss when the Reds make a new signing. We've had our Redmen Reacts where me, Paul and Chris were in the studio straight after the news was announced to give our thoughts on the signing. Paul then spoke to Andrew Beasley, stats guru extraordinaire, on our first ever Expert Insight show. And then Chris Pajak put together what I think is probably the best stat job I've seen about Núñez. I'll be honest, and I know I'm quite biased, but I've been obviously doing all my research and stuff about Núñez. Well, Chris on the stat show, absolutely fantastic, showing exactly where he plays, where he scores his goals, how the link up with Thiago could work, how the link up with Trent could work. I do recommend you go and check that out. It's absolutely phenomenal content. And again, I do say that I am biased, but I learned so much of it. Nobody understands stats around footy as a fan, I think, more than Chris Pajak does. So yeah, I think he's absolutely fantastic. And I really recommend you go and watch it. And finally then, just to give you guys a little heads up on our latest competition prize. Have you seen this bad boy? We were giving this away. Let me move the mic so you can hear me more. We'll be giving this prize away at the end of the month for those of you listening. It is a signed Liverpool goalkeeper shared by all of the LFC goalkeeper department. So John Achterberg, coach, and Jack Robertson, coach, are both on there, as is another coach, Claudio Taffarel, Brazilian legend. His signature is right there as well. Along with Liverpool's 4 goalkeepers, we've got Peter Luger, we've got Adrian, we've got Kevin Keller, and right there at the top, the man Alison Becker as well. We'll be giving that prize away at the end of the month. So if you guys want to be in the mix of winning it, all you've got to do is be a Club Legend subscriber on Redmen Plus. We're heading over to redmenplus.com. If you sign up as a Club Legend, you get extra perks. It's a bit like a Patreon. You get access to our Discord chat where we're all involved chatting about the Reds every single day with the amazing Club Legends we've got there. You get free merch, you get discounted stuff, but also you get entry into our monthly competitions. So far this season, we've given away shirts signed by Ronnie Whelan, Steve McMahon, Jamie Carragher and Dirk Kuyt. We've had this, obviously got this amazing goalkeeper prize. Now we've given away all sorts. Honestly, so much signed memorabilia, so much cool stuff. So if you want to be involved, yeah, do much for joining me for the show. I am very, very excited. The fixture list is out. We can already start looking ahead to the new season. Please do come and join us for the react show over on Plus later. And yeah, I'll catch us all soon. Ta-da.